welcome to our Facebook Live for today, the Unstoppable Entrepreneur Season 2, episode number 3. Now, one of the really big things that I wanted to share with you guys today is really around the importance of you being you, and how this applies in your marketing, how it applies with your business offerings, and everything like that. So, first and foremost, when you're logging on, if you can please give me a shout out. Okay, let's try that again. So let me know that you've got me and that you can hear me. Number one, first and foremost, sometimes I have issues with this mic. And second of all, I know that sometimes there are issues with the connection. Hey Joe, good morning. All right, so let me just check over on here that we've got sound. Excellent, okay, great, that's what I wanted to know. All right. So in this week's episode, the things that I wanted to be sharing with you today is, like I was saying, the importance of being you in your marketing and in your business delivery and everything else like that. Now, it might sound somewhat obvious that the best practice for your marketing is to just be you. Well, lots of people tell me that they're really afraid of putting themselves out there, that they're not in so many words. They've got this kind of the fear of them showing up, putting their face out there, putting their voice out there, sharing their stories. It can be kind of scary, particularly, if you're not used to that, if you're not used to really kind of getting out there, if you're not used to being seen, being visible, it can be a little bit of a kind of thing, right? Because it's a big thing to throw yourself out there. I remember in 2010, I had gone through and done some training, and I was like, right, the best way for me to be able to get out there and help people is by positioning myself online and throwing myself out there. But I got really, really scared. Hey, Christy, welcome. And I think the big thing that I was afraid of was how people were going to judge me, right? What they were going to say, what they were going to think, what they would think about how I spoke, my teeth, what I was wearing, and I think that the biggest thing for me, I came from a 12-year corporate banking career. So I was very professional, my role models were very professional, and I really believed that when I started out in my own business, that in order for me to be taken seriously, I would need to be really serious, not just in the delivery of what it was that I did, but also in the way that I presented, in the way that I did videos and all of that kind of thing. Now, it's a really big thing, I think, to break out of that very corporate mold, right? Because it's what we've been living and breathing and stuff like that, generally speaking, or the very professional mold. Now, it doesn't mean that I want you to get out there and, drop F-bombs all over the place or swear or, do any of that. You don't have to go that extreme. And it's not like I want you to just always be sitting there like a professional newsreader and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly, Christy. Like being politically correct. If you are, I really just want you to embrace you and who you are and how you are, and that's the stuff that you need to be sharing online. Now, if you are in a very typically kind of corporate almost role or a job or business, then, you need to kind of play along with a little bit about what's expected, right? There is a line there that you've got to be able to toe and whatever else, but I still want you to be you. Now, what this means for some people, they are so systematic, they are so numbers driven, they are so much about the data and dotting their I's and crossing their T's. And if that's the version of you, excellent, get out there and share that stuff. If you're kind of like a real sort of like mama bear, bringing everybody in, wanting to look after everyone and nurture them and stuff like that, share that side of you online. There are some different natural strengths, right? And it's not just about the behavioral profiles, it's also about the different kinds of, I like to call them the soul styles. It's almost like an archetype type of thing. Now, my primary soul style is divine self-expression. So I've got like 4 dot points on my piece of paper here today of what it is that I'm going to be talking about. You know, I've been talking about this stuff for so long that it just kind of flows out naturally. I can talk for hours underwater with a mouthful of marbles and still have words left to spend. But not everyone is like that. So if you're a bit like the kind of person that I was explaining before, if you're like very down the line, straight and narrow, systems oriented, maybe very professional, and that's what you like, then awesome. I want you to be able to embrace that when it comes to your marketing, because if you try and market the way that I do, you're going to feel annoyed, pissed off, it's going to infuriate you, because like a lot of what I do is speaking, right? Another type of soul style, and I mean that soul style that I'm talking about would be like a divine order soul style. So I still use that because I've got to have the structure for what it is that I'm going to say first and foremost, and then I can talk till the cows come home. But a lot of people, if they've got divine order as being their first and primary kind of soul strength or soul style, then it can take a lot of planning in order for you to be able to get out there and do some videos. So how this applies to marketing is that people are going, like the industry and your news feeds and the marketing noise and hype that is going on out there right now is insanely massive. You know, you guys would have to agree with me with that. You know, you look at your Facebook feed and there's ad after ad after ad after ad for either how to do Facebook, how to market yourself, how to do video, how to be better, how to be a better wife, how to be more feminine, how to be more masculine, you know, how to be more healthy, how to be a better parent, how to stop yelling, you know, how to be more motivated. It's insanely full of so many different things. And one of the big questions that arises from a marketing perspective is, well, how do you stand out amongst all that fucking noise? And the best way that you can do that is by showing up as you, all right? Because everybody else is so scared about straying outside of the 9 dots. They are so scared about being judged, about being not liked, about not being responded to, that they would rather, and I know it because this is where I was, that they would rather not throw themselves out there for fear of almost like the feedback, of the repercussions of what was going to come back their way. So I guess the thing here is like, how do we circumvent that? How do we get around that? So one of the really huge things that honestly transformed my life, a statement that I learned was, it's not my business what anybody else thinks of me. And I'd really encourage you to take that on board, because when you decide to start throwing yourself out there, and it might be doing videos, it might be doing Facebook Lives, it might be doing video blogs or written blogs or workshops or whatever it is, guys, no matter what you do, there are going to be people who don't like you, because that's the nature of things. It's the nature of humans, right? It's the nature of people. So if you're worried about that, if you're worried about what everybody else thinks, or if you're scared about what the feedback might be, then I'd encourage you to embrace that thought of like 10 seconds of insane courage, right? Just start. It's a bit like breaking the seal. You know, you just need to get started in order to start that momentum curve. You know, if you think about a graph, right, that goes like this. So you've got the down and across, and you've got the momentum that you're trying to build. We're going to build a J curve. So we're starting here, right, where the graph intersects, and you've got to put in a lot of freaking energy. It is a bit like a plane taking off or a steam train. You've got to put so much energy in to get a little bit of lift, and then it's just going to go up so much more, like exponentially, so that you're with less effort, and it can just ride off that energy that you've been putting right in at the start. So that 10 seconds of insane courage of you just starting is the thing that's going to start your presence being built. It's the thing that's going to start the momentum, the motivation, your tribe, finding your followers, being heard, being seen. But none of that works really, really well if you're trying to do it in the way that everybody else is doing it. right? If you're trying to do stuff in a way that is misaligned with you, it's not going to lock in and kind of take off with a veracity that you really want it to, okay? Because you want to be able to do, I imagine, because I know this is what I want to be able to do one thing and have multiple good things come off that one piece of effort, right? So like if I'm putting in a 1 unit of effort, I want to get at least 5 to 10 benefits off the back of that 1 unit of effort. And when you're trying to be someone else, or when you're holding back, or when you're trying to do things in the way that you think that you should versus the way that's really aligned with you, then nothing really works with as much power. And I've seen it happen a lot over the years. So stop doing that, all right? Now, as we're going through, if you guys have questions, please go ahead and type them in and I'll be able to look at them on my little computer I've got prepared over here. I think a big part of what I've seen play out over the years is that when people finally go, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to do it, I'm just going to throw myself out there, that's really when the magic happens. But it kind of takes towing that line, you know, dancing up to it and going, oh, what am I going to do? And then just getting out there. So a big part, I guess, when we think about how you can apply this, what I would be looking at for you is going, okay, what are you here for? Like, why is it that you're doing what it is that you're doing? And what value is that of yours? So if it's about growth, if it's about expansion, if it's about personal contribution, if it's about giving back, whatever it is, or your might be family or health or wellness, whatever, what's your biggest value? And how can you share some stories about all of this? You know, how can you share some stories about where you've been and what you've worked through? Because no one else can duplicate your story, right? No one, I mean, they could, but it's going to sound ridiculous because it's not their story, it's yours. So that's a really big element that you can leverage out of you, and it kind of can form part of your brand if we want to talk about branding. The way that, it's really funny actually. When I first started out, I was so, like I was saying, like I was so caught up in what everybody else would think of me that the way that I spoke was different, right? The way that I dressed was different. The way that I interacted with clients and had conversations was really different. My nickname used to be Tinkerbell because my voice was a little bit higher and I was kind of a little bit like, you know, da-da-da-da-da. Whereas these days, I'm just like, you know what, this is how it is. This is what it's all about. If you don't like me, that's fine. If you like me, that's great. But I don't really care. Yeah. Whereas back then, I was so wrapped up in being perceived in the way that I thought I had to be. I thought that I had to be this perfect, constantly styled person who didn't offend anybody, who didn't piss anybody off, who always did the right thing and stuff like that. So it took, for me, a lot of kind of getting out of my own way, a lot of work, a lot of self-work in order to be able to really throw myself out there. But that doesn't mean that you can't do that right now with everything that it is that you know. So what you'll notice there is that I shared a little bit of a story about where I was over 2010, 2011, 2012 with how I thought that I had to show up, with how I thought I needed to be in order to be perceived as being professional and approachable and stuff like that. So stories are a really big thing that are going to create differentiation for you in your marketplace. And you know what? It doesn't cost you a red cent to share your stories. I would also be looking at how much of your story can you share? You know, if there's been times where you've been through adversity, I would encourage you to share as much as you can about that, because it shines a different facet on you. It can help people look at you through a slightly different lens and have a bit more of an understanding of you, because you're not just some 2D person that appears on video, right? You're a human, you've got a heart, you've had multiple experiences. Your weekend, you would have probably had great times over the weekend, maybe not so excellent times over the weekend. There's, you know, things that made you laugh, maybe stuff that made you cry, like different activities that you would have done. You know, you're multifaceted. And I think that's something that's really lacking in the way that a lot of people market themselves these days, is that they're just very cardboard cutout, two-dimensional, being how it is that they think that they should be in order to be taken seriously, when, you know, your people are going to resonate with you for really showing up and really being you. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys today about being you. So share your stories, share quotes and things or videos that motivate you and inspire you. Share that stuff with your people. Make sure that you're marketing yourself in a way that has you being able to step into you being the best version of you that you can possibly be in the way that you market. So we were talking before about divine self-expression. Like if you're a jibber jabberer, you know, turn the camera on and, you know, wear something that you feel really great in. Have some dot points with what it is that you want to say so that you've got it sitting there ready, okay? That is, you know, really, really important. If you're someone who likes a bit more structure, then go ahead and dot point out like nearly your whole thing so that you can rely on the structure, or write something. You know, just start getting out there, start sharing you, because that is the thing that is going to differentiate you from the rest of the competition, or all the other people in the industry who are really playing it safe, who are not sharing the faces behind the logos, who are not sharing the stories behind the name, behind the faces, behind the logos. All right, talk about why you're doing this. All right, so any questions that you have, feel free to go ahead and write them underneath here. Off the back, obviously, if you're listening to the recording of this, I'll come in and answer anything that you guys have after that. But just remember, 10 seconds of insane courage. Like, that's all it takes. Get out there, break that seal. When you start doing these, like if you decide to start doing lives, tag me in them. Like, let me know that this stuff's helped you. Because you deserve everything. You deserve the clients, you deserve the reach, you deserve to make what you want happen. All right? Have an amazing Monday, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye! See you, love you, bye. And because this is so far away, I have to come over and turn it off over here. Bye!